In this video, we're going to look at how to use the MAST Tracking Template and what exactly that's going to do for us as we support translation projects. So this is the MAST Tracking Template, version 2. The first screen gives you some basic instructions for how to use it, but we're going to dive right in. So over here I have BTT Writer, and I have a project for James that I'm going to upload. And so I'm going to go to the New Testament chapters screen in the tracking template. And here's the book of James. You can see that I don't have any of it completed yet. And so this is what one of the things we're going to look at. Down here we have a field for this mast, and it's by default set to 1. So if this book of James was translated at this event, and this is the first event, I would put 1 in each of these squares to show that chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, and chapter 5 of James was completed at MAST 1. Sometimes that won't be the case. Sometimes you may find that some of the book was translated at a previous event. So let's say that this is MAST 2. Okay, if I have this mast being MAST 2 and James was completed at MAST 1, this changes a couple of things in the display. First, I see that all 5 chapters were done previously. They are previous chapters. Current chapters are 0. I don't have any chapters of James that were done at this event. But I do have 5 chapters complete, 108 verses complete, and the book is 100% complete. Now, if the last chapter was not completed at event 1 and was completed now I have 4 chapters that were done previously. I have 1 chapter that was done currently, for a total of 5 chapters complete, 108% done, or 108 verses done and 100% done. So that's basically how we use that part of the system. A couple of other things here. When you're working with a translation team and they don't know which book to do next, there's a difficulty scale over here that helps you to see which books are easier, which books are harder. And so you can give more difficult books to translators who are more experienced, and you can get easier books to people who are less experienced. You can also click down here on the New Testament Verses tab, and you can see how many verses there are in each of the chapters for each of the books. Okay, so James is finished. I'm ready to upload it. Well, I go to BTT Writer, and I click over here on the details, and I say I'm going to upload. Upload to server, and the uploading process starts. Oh. And some of you have probably run into this, where there's an error when you try to upload sometimes. That just means I need to log out, log back into my server account, and I get my password here. And now when I go to upload James, it should go. Okay, once the upload is finished, I now have the location that it's been uploaded to written right here. If I copy that then I can come over here to the upload path for James, and I can paste in, oh, looks like it didn't copy. Copy and paste. And so that's going to be able to tell the project manager where he can find the project that I've uploaded. There's one more thing that I want to do for this. The way the tracking template works is we have a different template for each language group. And one of the benefits here is that you can use the same template for each of the MAST events until the translation is complete. In order to help me know that this is the tracking template for this language, I'm going to copy the language code here, and then I'm going to save my document, and I'm going to save it with that language code as the name. Now it tells me up here that's the name, but there's one other cool thing that this template does, and that is if I go to data. Now this only works in LibreOffice. If you're using Microsoft Office, it's going to be different. But if I go to data, come down to calculate and say recalculate hard, now it has the name of the language group up here as well. And that will be for the Old Testament as well. And so that makes it a little bit easier to keep track of what language we're recording here. And so after I've done that save, now I can check to make sure that the language code up here matches the language code here in the uploaded file to make sure that I'm recording it in the right place. So that's pretty much it. You record here when the project was, when the chapter was completed. And again, you can upload a book. So let's say we do 2 chapters of 1 Peter at this event. Actually, this is the second event, so we should do it that way. And then the event is over. I should upload those 2 chapters so they aren't lost. Now, James is finished. I can put a 2 there for the level 1 completion, but we're not going to put a level 1 completion for 1 Peter because it's not finished yet. That's going to be done at a different event. So those are the basics for how to use the tracking template. If you have questions, we'd love to hear from you. And if there is anything else that you'd like to have a video on, we'd be happy to do that too. Thanks for watching, and hope this makes our translation better.